Cruising down the street, night black is tall. Don't know why I feel so comfy in this stolen car. When my man shot the owner in the throat and the arm. My near future is more, nigga freedom is far. All I can see is the bars. Picture life in the yard. Cause I ain't used to bitches, I only hung with the guards. Oh shit, they shine in the light in the car. Hit the corner, nigga, make the right at the bar. Stitch, the murder weapon still in the car. What, nigga? I guess we was done from the start.
Cruising down the street, trying to dodge these lights. Swear I'm not trying to get locked up tonight. Can't believe the events that may occur. All I can think about is prison city and her.
We have a first person that we're interviewing today. We have Shelly. First question is, where did you do your time at?
Well, I did most of my time in Union County Jail.
So did you ever go to prison?
No.
Okay. All right. That's a good thing. How old was you when you first started going to jail?
I'd say mid-20s.
Was it like serious crime or petty crime? Like
Petty crimes, shoplifting, things of that sort. Of course, I had a drug habit. So,
okay.
Just petty stuff.
Did you run with a lot of people? Was it your environment that made you turn to what you did, or?
Well, when you first start doing it, I think it was in my family, and extended family. Just basic, kid stuff, starting with like marijuana, and drinking here and there. I would say basically my environment, based on where I chose to be.
Okay.
And it just like moved forward, Basically, I would say it was my environment.
Okay. Was it, if you don't mind me asking, what choice of drug was it?
My main choice of drugs was heroin.
Was it hard to get away from it, or was it easy? I mean, I know it wasn't easy, but was it difficult? Did you do it on your own, or did you have to go to a facility?
I went to a facility.
Okay.
I have been trying.
Okay.
Trying different places. I was no longer on my mother's insurance, and I got pregnant, so I was, trying to get off of it.
Okay.
And I ended up it was never successful. I went to different, detoxes of that sort, which is basically like 3 to 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And in that process, you stay clean for a little while. Again, environment, and you just start doing it again. And then when I got pregnant, it was an issue, a large issue.
Yes.
Because of course I didn't want my child to be born addicted, and it was time to straighten up my life. I had another person to look after. But it didn't. I had spouts of clean time, in between. I changed my environment and moved to Georgia.
That's good.
Yeah, and we were in Georgia, I'd say, for 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
And during that time, basically, I stayed clean. Based on some circumstances that happened to me in Georgia.
Okay.
Somebody had slept a Mickey into my drink.
Oh, wow.
And I lost it, and it kind of like set me into a relapse.
Oh, wow.
And then I came home, because I wasn't mentally stable to stand on my own.
Mm.
And of course I got back with those people and that lifestyle, and it started on again. And then finally I got, arrested for stealing 2 candles from Walgreens.
Wow. Okay.
Totaling maybe $5.
Okay.
And I ended up in the county jail.
Okay.
And as a result of that, I need to be honest and say I was kind of hopeless at that point.
Okay.
I just didn't think I would ever, get myself together. It just wasn't in sight for me at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But they said in the county jail that if you go to Delaney Hall, you could smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
I smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
So I went to Delaney Hall. And when I got there, it was like, wow, the programming, the stories, the other women. I just became like amazed. I came engulfed in the program. So my mother and myself wrote the judge, asked the judge to let me stay.
Wow.
And he gave me 180 days.
Okay.
I did 3.5 months of that time, and I was just in love with recovery at that point. And I stayed clean. I came out the program, and I would run into young ladies that were in the same program as me, and they would be back on the street. And I just couldn't understand why. Once you got the taste of air, I mean, when I came out of that program, it was like the air smelled different. The sun felt different.
Yeah.
It was like an awesome feeling, not to be in active addiction.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't, imagine why anyone would just go directly back to that. And as a result of that, I found out that a lot of women didn't have a choice. I was very fortunate
To have somewhere else
to
to
have
be.
a good family,
Yes.
and to have people to support me in the support system. A lot of women didn't even have a home to go to. And then that's when I hooked up with the alumni from Delaney Hall. And in turn, I became the assistant director.
Okay.
And I started a program out of Delaney Hall, and then eventually out of all of our the facilities at the time.
Okay.
We started a program, and my main focus was supporting the women. So I developed placement and jobs and clothing and anything I could to assist these women. And I did that for 2.5 years. And then an incident that happened while I was using, prior to all of this, I had given a statement to the police. Of course, they had promised me they were going to put me in a program, they were going to give me help, blah, 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 blah. And basically I just told them whatever. It was about a murder. I basically told them what I was hearing from the street.
Okay.
Well, come to find out, they had locked up a young man, they say, based on my statement. And they came to me and was like, well, you need to come testify. We're getting ready to convict this person. They've been in jail for 2-3 years, whatever. And I was like, I can't do that. Yeah. I can't stand on that statement. I would have told you anything to get out of jail and get my next fix.
Okay.
So, of course, we went through the threatening and all of that. And I got on the stand, and basically I told them that on the stand. They were trying to get me to read the statement and say that the statement was true. And basically I would say, that's the statement I gave you, but I can't stand on that because of my circumstances at the time.
Okay.
So as a result of that...
First of all, that took a big person to do that, like for real, because you could have just said whatever and been done with it, and it could have went. At the time, there wasn't,
True. At that point, I had been servicing people and, meeting, especially not a black man.
Yeah.
And so many of
Absolutely.
our men in
It
prison
took a whole lot for you to say
based on, crap.
Yeah.
Whether the system or somebody or whatever, things they didn't do. And that didn't fit well in my spirit. It wasn't what I was practicing, how I was practicing my life at the time.
Absolutely.
I just didn't have the heart to do that to anyone.
Okay.
So I, as a result of me not doing what they wanted me to do, they charged me with false testifying.
Wow.
And then that's when I ended up in the Union County Jail. I had never been in Union County Jail for any length of time, because remember, I was in Union County and I ended up in Delaney, but I was there, 2 weeks? And then I was in Delaney Hall. I had never experienced, a long amount of time in a county jail. And then my life had changed so much, as you know.
Yes.
When I got there, I was like,
Yeah, I was there. You remember?
Yes.
I was just like, oh my
You
God,
know?
I was so surprised to see you. But you know what? You spoke the same way. You didn't act like you wasn't supposed. Some people get in there and because of whatever they've been through beforehand, they act funny and they act like, oh, I'm better than you. And we all here for the same reasons. But you was very yourself. Remember, I used to still call you Miss Perry?
Yes, and I was like, I used to tell people don't call me.
But I still respected you Miss Perry. You always said
Everyone
Miss
did.
Perry.
Yeah, everyone did, and I really appreciated it, and even, the officers, because I had worked for them. You remember when the young lady jumped off of the...
Yes, Dominique. Yes.
Only you and April remember her name.
Yes, Dominique.
I'm done. I
yes, Dominique.
remember her name. Don't want to. Okay. But, you remember after that, at first I was mingling. I was okay. Mm-hmm. But after that, I just shut down. I went in my room and I, never came out again.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I couldn't believe that she did it.
Yeah.
But when it was all over, I don't believe she did it to hurt herself. I believe she did it for attention.
You told me that.
100%
Remember you came and was like, just calm down. She just did it for attention. I was like, man, nobody, that's crazy. She could have killed herself.
Yeah, but she jumped on the officer's desk. That broke her fall. That means that she didn't jump from and land on the ground. If she really, to me, just my opinion, if she really wanted to kill herself, she would have jumped where there was only ground.
Yeah.
Because that officer's desk was, 10 feet from where she was? So she really just jumped off of a high porch, if you will. That's how I looked at it. Like, she's not trying to hurt herself.
It didn't look like that to me. All I see was her body dropping, like, boom. I was like,
she ain't really trying to kill herself. She's just playing at that.
I was shook. And then finally, an officer that I know was like, why do y'all have Miss Perry in the jungle? And the next thing I know, I was on the other side.
B-side, yes.
It was nice and quiet, and it was okay. It was okay.
I thrived in the jungle. That's where I wanted to be. But you know what? It was, to me, if I gotta be here, somebody gotta entertain me.
Yeah.
There was a lot of entertainers there.
Yeah. That was true. That was very true. And then after that, actually after that, 2 days out, I got out. I got pregnant with my 13-year-old now.
Okay.
And things were good. Things were good until I want to say maybe 9-10 years. I think it was in that area somewhere. And my grandfather has always been my support system.
Okay.
He's never given up on me. He's always had my back. And in turn, I went back to work for this facility, servicing women. Mm-hmm. And then my grandfather began to get very ill. And he eventually passed away. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that was a shock for me. And it was like reality kicked in for me. Like, you have to really stand on your own 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
You have these 2 kids. And you're on your own now. It's you have to carry this, and that was a bit much to bear. And then the fact that I was caring for him, the process of watching him, he got dementia, and he was starting to go blind, and the man that had raised me, he was a bricklayer. He built our home, he was our strength, he was our king, and to watch him dwindle to a child to the point where he almost didn't know who he was, broke me.
I'm sure it was.
It broke me. And I used for a little while. Mm-hmm. I used for a little while, and then I had to leave my home, the house I've lived in basically all my life except for the few years I was in Georgia. Mm-hmm. The house I was born in. And I ended up in this little apartment. And I need to add that, my daughter at the time, my oldest daughter, Malaysia, she had went through all the recovery with me. She was my partner. She helped me with my program. She went through school, everything. Everybody was Uncle this, and we were a big family. But also during that time of my grandfather, dwindling, she started to spread out more. We live in Scotch Plains, but Plainfield was just like across the road. And we have a lot of family members there, so she started to lean more towards my fast history, is what you would say, my, negative side. And she got mixed up in that life. So shortly after my grandfather died, she was murdered. Shot in the head and left in a driveway in Plainfield. She was the first woman killed in Plainfield in 2016. She was 24. And prior to that, I had moved to Florida. I left the little apartment and I said, I can't live like this. This is not the way I'm used to living. I need to get my kids out of this environment. So I had moved to Florida. I went to look for a place. And the weekend she was killed was the weekend she was supposed to pack up our apartment and meet me in Florida. She never made it. So I went to, after, everything was done, I went to Florida, and I've been in Florida since. So that's basically, my story. And I'm just trying to rebuild. I believe my other daughter is my second chance, to try to do things differently and show her, lean her towards a more positive way. At this point, I'm just trying to enjoy my life and do the best that I can, with what I have left. But
you have a lot left.
It's not worth it.
But it's wow. I don't even know what to ask you next. Like, did they?
They're going back and forth to court now. They're going in final disposition. So, it'll be 3 years, next June.
So they found the person who did it?
It was 3 people.
3 people.
One of the young men have stayed in my house, ate at my tables.
Wow, it's always somebody close to you that does the worst.
The worst too, I've gotten to the point in my life where I basically just let God. People ask me how I feel, and to be honest, I feel like it's 4 wasted lives.
Yes.
For some reason, my heart doesn't hold malice to them. I don't know why. I can't explain it. But I guess that's part of my let go and let God.
Yeah.
I feel like it was their circumstances, their lifestyles, how they were raised, because I've been in the system and I've worked with people, men that have spent 20 and 30 years of their life and they come out and I have to find them a place to stay, and I've dealt with murderers and, all of that kind of stuff. There's many different circumstances that our black men are in jail. They hooked up with a girl at 16, all kinds of reasons that they're in prison. And I see these young men that hurt my daughter as those men that I were helping in prison. Like, it's just our world, unfortunately, and I don't think they knew any different. There is a moral standard of life. You don't take life, you don't hurt anyone. But some people, it seems like young people today don't have those morals. Those morals weren't instilled in them, how precious life is.
I read a meme and it's like, it's so true that some people are raised on love and other people are raised on survival. And it's totally 2 different ways,
Completely.
Like, I personally believe that it's unfortunate, but I believe I was raised on survival. You know, absolutely, because there wasn't a lot of love to go around. It affects people different ways. For me, I want to love. I want to show it and feel it and experience it because I never had it. Other people that have been raised on survival don't know nothing about that word, don't embrace it, and just want to hurt, just to make sure that they get what they want at all times. It's unfortunate, and you never know who you're going to meet and what side they're going to show you at the time.
Yeah.
Because everybody is the face that you show the world.
It's not
It's
what
the
you
face
got.
that you show other people, and then there's the face that you are. So
Right.
yeah, it's unfortunate, but you're a very strong woman. Like, just the fact that you're able to sit here and put it into words and not break down, because it's like
It's hard.
it's hard. I can't even imagine. Like, I can't even imagine what you're going through. But hopefully, you know, you've been through so much that you don't need any more. You know, you don't need any more.
And that's where I'm trying to be. You know, I'm just trying to have some peace in my life. What I can have. You know, because this is, I need to say that I hold myself responsible. And maybe that's why I don't feel the malice. Because I exposed her to all, I don't want to say all, to two different types of lifestyles. You know, and I hoped the plan, the thought at the time was, okay, she's seen me do bad, now she's going to see me do good, and she's going to see that this is the right way to go. But for some reason, that's not the road she chose. You know, and with that being said, like, you know, I feel like I did something wrong. You know, if I hadn't introduced to her that lifestyle and made it appear exciting, you know, and a way of life. I mean, she never wanted for anything, you know, I always provided for her, never really like left her, you know, but I guess it seemed okay to her, so she chose it, and I feel like that's my fault, you know.
I understand how you could come and feel that way, but I have a 20-year-old right now, Jade, and I felt like I wasn't there most of his childhood, from going back and forth to jail, from just hanging out in the streets, running around, and I felt the same way, that he's going to see me do bad and see all the bad things that happened to me, and then eventually he's going to see me, like, I thought that he would see, you know, everything that I've been through, and then eventually I wouldn't even have to worry about him, you know. But unfortunately, it's like it mesmerized him. Like, he wasn't. And unfortunate. The unfortunate part is that, in my opinion, that the things that we went through conditioned us to be able to deal with what we had to deal with when we was dealing with it.
Right.
The lifestyle that I left him in and that he was a part of, he didn't have to get conditioned to be able to deal with what he was putting himself through. So he was making so many terrible mistakes, and like, not even just making mistakes, just like doing dumb stuff. Period. Just dumb. And I'm like, why would you do that? And in his mind, I'm gonna be a gangster. I'm gonna be this. I'm like, bro, you know that the path to being a gangster is death and prison, and you ain't built for neither one of those. Like, you don't want to die, and you don't want to go to prison. Like, you're not even that great of a fighter. Like, so I said that to say, like, even still, because sometimes I have to tell, like, my son he could have went to the military, he could have did all of these things, and right now he crashed the car, he went to Montana, crashed the car. They got the rules out there are so retarded that they got him on a situation where he can do some real time for just stealing a car. You know, you maybe do a year or something, but you're not looking at 10, and it doesn't even like make any sense or whatever. No. So if he would have just did the right thing, and if he wouldn't have been seduced by what he thought I was doing, then his life would be so much better. But everything that I tried to tell him, me sheltering him, because all he did was able to see and hear about it. He didn't actually experience it firsthand. So it wasn't even like I put him in that environment. It's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the music. I don't want to blame it on music, but sometimes it's the music that they listening to. It's all of these other things that make them want to gravitate towards one thing.
It seems like it's
exciting in it, and it really ain't. Because even when I was growing up and I'm listening to the music, I'm like, yeah, I'm hustling, I'm doing this and that. It's so exciting. But what they didn't tell me is that I'm gonna go to prison. No, none of my friends are gonna be there.
All alone.
I'm gonna be by myself. Nobody's gonna come visit me. Nobody's gonna put money on my books, and everybody's looking at me like I'm a failure.
Right.
That's the downside of it. Nobody ever.
But they don't fantasize that.
Oh no. Listen, when I used to think about going to prison, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't gonna be chilling with all my boys is gonna be there. Like, honey, you're going to women's prison. It's gonna be no boys there. Like, but in your mind, the psychosis is like, yeah, I'm gonna have a great time. Everything is gonna be great. So I think kids, and that was my kid mind telling me that.
Right.
So sometimes it might not have been too much more you could have did to steer. Once a child sees everything that's going on, they're gonna go where they want to go.
Well, the Bible says, God says, I've given you choice.
Yes. Sometimes, I hate choice. Like,
right?
So many choices. I hate choice.
Yeah.
But I really, let me ask you this. Okay. What's your biggest fear?
That my youngest daughter will follow down the same path.
Okay.
That's my biggest fear.
Biggest fear and your biggest regret, your deepest regret.
Ever making that choice, ever choosing that road, That's my biggest regret, that I chose that way of life. And the effects the results of choosing it.
And if you could go back, do you know, like, can you pinpoint the moment that it happened? And if you could go back, is there a certain year or era that you would go back and you would say what to change everything? You would say what to your younger self? Little Shelly, what would you tell yourself?
Don't go that route, don't touch that drug, stay in school, stay in the books, pick a career, stick with it, build on it, don't focus on what everyone else is doing.
Okay.
Focus on you and what you want your life to be like 20 years from now.
Okay.
And I would tell little Shelly, sit down, like I tell my youngest daughter, look, find out what you like, and stick with it, and concentrate on what you want to do in your future. Like my daughter says now, she wants to be a lawyer. So I'm trying to work towards that, push her in that direction.
Yes.
Try to keep her with that thought in her mind. I would just say focus on Shelly and what you want the rest of your life to be like. What do you want your legacy to be? Think about what you want people to say about you when you die. And focus on that. And that's how you live your life.
Wow. You will never think about that. What you want people to say about you when you die. That's deep. That's when they're going to talk and you can't even defend yourself. Like, no, I didn't do that. I didn't say that. That's not how I felt. You can't say none of that. Yeah. Wow. That's deep. Were you able to, like, salvage any of your old relationships from before when you were in the streets? Like, are you friends with any of those people from then?
From when I within the right. Oh yeah, I have many friends.
Okay.
Many friends. You say salvage, or are you speaking about someone that I've harmed
No.
and made amends to, or just relationships that have remained through addiction and recovery?
Exactly.
Oh yes, I have several. I have well, I don't know if it's like this for other people, but the people in my life, you know, we've spent time getting high. We spent time being clean and celebrating being clean. Some of us have fallen off, and some of us were still there, and we've tried to pull, we've pulled each other into programs, and then, and we've assisted each other in getting better.
Okay.
For example, right now I have a cousin that's, still there, and another cousin that, had the ability to bring her into a program. So
Okay.
she's been in the program 3 months now.
Okay.
And I've done it for other people. It's a very close circle. It's maybe about 4 of us.
Okay.
But yeah,
Wow.
we've stepped
That's
together.
deep. As normally, like, even I wasn't in the addiction, but I sold drugs.
Right.
But I wasn't able to. Most of my relationships that I had when I was in the streets, when I came home, I was not able to. I would say 99, almost 100% of my relationships I had to do away with.
Yeah.
I couldn't because even when I went around and I tried to continue that relationship, it was either okay, you can continue it, but you're going back to jail because we ain't trying to change, and we're not gonna curb anything to make you feel comfortable.
Right.
That's not gonna happen. So I had to completely distance myself from them.
Yeah. So, there is distance, of course, when you're clean and a family member or a loved one is using. You don't you don't hang out with them and go see them every day after work. And no, when you do see them, or when they do call to ask for some money or whatever they want to get, that is the opportunity for you to say, no, I'm not going to support that habit. I can't help you with that, but I can help you get into a program.
Yeah.
In that addiction life, when one is clean and the other isn't, the one that's using usually doesn't come around. Because I would like to think, I know for me, and I would like to think for the others in my circle, that they didn't want to bring me down with them.
Yeah, of course.
So they didn't come around unless they really needed something or they were ready for help.
How do you feel the way that they're making a big deal about the drug addiction now, as opposed to what they did for our communities in the 80s and the 90s?
Right.
Because now they're making it seem like it's and it is. It's not like it wasn't. It 100% is an epidemic. 100%. Somebody needs to stop it and do something about it. But before they were criminalizing us, throwing us in jail. Now they're programming everybody.
Well,
How do you feel about that?
Well, I understand it. When you say how I feel about it, I feel like it's about time.
Okay.
It is a disease. It is a disease. But I need to add, like any other disease, curable or incurable, you have to fight. It's like a cancer patient. You have to fight for life. Example, I've been diagnosed with rheumatoid disease, which is an autoimmune disease that your my blood cells are attacking my body.
Okay.
And it's an incurable disease.
Okay.
In pain, 80% of the time.
Wow.
You know, my joints, my knee needs to be replaced. You know, I have surgery scheduled for my back, my neck. I lose feeling in my arms, my legs. Sometimes I can't even walk when I get up. Sometimes the day is just miserable. You know, everything is just aching. And I fight that, you know. They'll prescribe you, you know, narcotics or painkillers or whatever. But I'm constantly online in books, checking out herbs, you know, checking out different things to heal or make my life better. With that being said, on the addiction piece, it's the same thing. It's a disease. You have to fight it. You know, the only difference is, and it's not really a difference, when it could makes you lose the results of it. I think it's a little different. That's what the difference is. You know, yeah, I'm going to get feeble. I'm eventually probably not going to be able to walk or whatever, you know. Yeah. My organs will start failing and do whatever if they don't come up with a cure, you know, beforehand, or if they don't find something to put it in remission, or if I don't find something to. But that's life. You're going to have to live your life to your best ability. Whereas in addiction, for me, once I got that first taste that I told you about, and I lived those 3 years clean and went to prison clean, standing for what I believed in, and came out of prison and still stayed clean until, like, the most drastic thing I could imagine happened to me, which was my grandfather. Like, that was a struggle. You know, I had to go to meetings. I had to feed myself with the energy and the thought, I don't want to go back to that life. I don't want to use. So therefore I say all that to say, once you get a taste of clean life, it's a choice. Point blank period. You know better. You know the results. You know what you're going to get.
Definitely.
So if you just decide to go back, that's your choice. And you know how to stop. You don't even need a program anymore to stop.
True.
Because you know. It's just a choice. You choose. You give in to your disease. Now I could sit here and not take the medicine and just hurt and fall apart till I die. It's my choice. Addiction is a disease. Either you're going to learn how to fight and live through it and don't let it take the best of you, or you're going to give into it and live your life robbing and stealing and drugs and pillar to post. It's a choice.
What? Were you ever suicidal?
I had an experience when I was a young child, a young teenager, maybe about 13. I don't think it was a diagnosis type of suicide. You know, I think that was just, you know, when you're a kid, sometimes you're like, oh, I deal with it, life is horrible for whatever's going on. But I think I've never really reached, I've thought about it, but I've never really reached a point of suicidal, I think, because I was raised with a higher power, you know, Christian, I believe in God. I'm not going to say I'm religious, I would say I'm spiritual, and I just know that to take the life that God so freely given you, it's like spitting in his face, you know, and it's just not an option for me.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a nurse.
Okay.
Went to be a nurse, and then as I became older, you know, closer to coming out, a hairstylist. I went and got my hair degree, Beaufort Academy, and I've done hair until the drugs interfered, and then I went into the program, and then I worked in the field of recovery and
do you have a message for women who might find themselves in the same position?
So much. Yes. I would tell them that life is so much better on the side, you know. Living, as they say in the rooms, living life on life's terms.
Okay.
You know, when you live your life on life terms, you have some part of control.
Okay.
On drugs, you have no control. The drugs lead your life. Do you want, think about your life. Do you want to live your life chasing something that it's not bringing you any purpose? I think of it kind of like gambling. I don't like gambling. I'll play a number or two, but go to the slot machine and just, go to the table and just give you a bunch of money. Like, I can't do that. To me, fair exchange is no robbery. I give you my money, you give me something tangible that's worth something to me. So I say that to them. If you're going to chase something, then don't you want something back? Don't you want a home? Don't you want to provide for your children and go on vacations? You want to hustle to get money, sell your soul, sell your body to get money, to put something up your nose that's going to last an hour with that, and to start it all over again. Like, I just can't understand anyone that would want to live their life that way. That's no life. No. That's no way to live. If you have children, is that how you want them to live their life? Because our children do what they see us do, not what we tell them to do.
No, definitely not what they tell them.
And my daughter was surprised. That was my rude awakening of that. We have to be role models. If we want us to have any future in this world, any future for our children, we can't say one thing and do another. We have to lead by example, Don't do it. It's not worth it, It's not worth it. You will regret it for the rest of your days.
Regret lasts a long time, too, so I definitely understand. Well, Miss Perry, I can't even stop calling you Miss Perry. Miss Perry, I really appreciate it. This was a great interview. I'm sure it's going to help somebody out there.
I hope it does.
Definitely.
I hope it does. I'm down with you. I'm down with the movement. Anything I can do to help.
I appreciate it.
I'm here to help.
Prison City and her, Stitches Esperanza. Next time, Danger Dog gonna be here. We had the best person that we've interviewed thus far, Miss Shelly Perry.
Thank you.
All right. Peace.
Peace.